The man's voice cracked as he spoke, his words barely audible over the bustling noise of the city streets. He sat on the edge of a busy sidewalk, his hands trembling as he clutched a battered cup with just a few coins rattling inside. His tired eyes scanned the faces passing by, most pretending not to see him, some throwing a quick glance before walking faster. And then it happened. Through the crowd, he noticed someone stopping. Not just a brief pause, but an intentional halt right in front of him. The man looked up, expecting another lecture or a pity-filled glance. Instead, he saw a young man, tall, calm, with an unmistakable presence. It took a moment for it to register. Dwayne, "The Rock" Johnson. For a second, the man hesitated. Could he even ask for help? What were the odds that this Hollywood superstar would care? But desperation outweighed pride, and the words spilled out. "Can you give me $100? Just enough to make it through today, please." The Rock didn't blink. He didn't show the discomfort most people did when faced with such a request. Instead, he crouched down, his eyes locking with the man's. "I don't have 100 on me," The Rock said, his tone steady. "But I can give you something better." The man stared, confused. Better? What could be better than money right now? That's when The Rock reached into his pocket and handed him a folded note. The man hesitated, then slowly opened it. It wasn't cash. It was a slip of paper with an address and a simple but powerful message. Hope Outreach Resource Center. Come to this address. They'll help you rebuild. The man looked up, his eyes wide with uncertainty, but The Rock was already standing. He didn't offer words of pity, no grand speeches, just a quiet presence in the midst of the chaos. Then he turned and walked away. For the first time in what felt like forever, the man didn't feel invisible. He gripped the note tightly. He could do what he always did, take the money, spend it, and end up in the same place. But something about The Rock's gaze lingered in his mind. There was something in his eyes that suggested he believed the man could do better. The next morning, the man found himself standing in front of the Hope Outreach Resource Center. His heart pounded in his chest. He hadn't even told anyone he was coming. Was he making a mistake? Would they just send him away like everyone else? He shook off the doubt. This wasn't about the money anymore. This was about doing something for himself. Inside, warmth enveloped him. The scent of coffee and fresh food filled the air. A receptionist, a woman with kind eyes, greeted him as if she had been expecting him all along. "You must be Leonard," she said, smiling. "We've been waiting for you." Hours later, Leonard sat across from a caseworker, his hands still shaking, but now with a different kind of energy. For the first time in years, someone was listening to him, not as a homeless man, but as a person with potential. They set up a bed for him at the shelter, scheduled medical appointments, and even discussed job training programs. Leonard felt overwhelmed, but not defeated. This place wasn't just offering resources. They were giving him a chance to take his life back. That night, as he lay on a cot, Leonard realized he hadn't just received help. He had received hope, and for the first time he wanted to fight for it. What Leonard didn't know was that a passerby had filmed his interaction with The Rock. The video had gone viral. It wasn't just about The Rock's act of kindness. It was about the message that resonated with millions. Sometimes all someone needs is a chance to be seen. The story spread like wildfire. Donations flooded the Hope Outreach Resource Center. People across the world were inspired to help those in need. Meanwhile, The Rock stayed out of the spotlight. He didn't need the praise. His act had sparked something bigger, a wave of compassion that was changing lives. A week later, Leonard sat in the shelter's common room, still processing everything that had happened. And then someone walked in. "Leonard?" He turned, his breath catching in his throat. It was Paul, his younger brother. the one he hadn't spoken to in over 10 years. Paul's voice trembled. I saw the video. I didn't know things had gotten this bad. I should have reached out sooner. Tears welled in Leonard's eyes as he stood up, the weight of lost years hitting him all at once. It's not your fault, he whispered. I pushed everyone away. But now, Paul was here. And for the first time in years, Leonard wasn't alone. The walls he had built around himself were starting to crumble. And he realized that maybe, just maybe, he could rebuild his life and his relationships too. This story reminds us that a single act of kindness can change a life. If this touched your heart, don't let it stop here. Take action. Share this video to spread the message of hope and second chances. And if you want to make a difference, consider helping someone in need today. Because sometimes all it takes is one small gesture to spark a ripple of change. Thank you for watching. Let's make the world a kinder place, together.